You are looking live at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my daily review. Today is Thursday, September 26th. Tomorrow's the 27th. We're going to get some inflation data. And then the 30th closes out which is Monday, closes out the third quarter, and we'll begin Q4 on Tuesday. A lot to get to today. It was kind of a strange market today. But anyway, the Nasdaq was up 108 points or a 0.60%, close at 18,190 above the old 017. And the volume was higher today, more than 2% more than the 50-day average volume. So I wanted to go to a 5-minute chart because it kind of shows you, how it gapped up here at the open and then came back, gapped up here to 327 and then came down to fill this gap here, 071, and then rallied up a little bit, then retested exactly 071 today, and then just stayed within the range here and closed. Yeah. So anyway, there's your daily, you know, I think it's a healthy action for the Nasdaq just to kind of go sideways, even though it was up 100 points and 0.6%. It's not getting too crazy, pulling away from its moving averages. We'll be in a power trend here as soon as the 50 will be in a power trend because the low of the session has been above the 21, which is this magenta line for more than 10 days. But the 50, if you look at the 50 there, 17,428 on, well, I'll go back to Monday. Monday it was 436, Tuesday 428. Wednesday, 419, and today, so it ticked up, 423. Finally a tick up. So with the 50 ticking up, we will start a power trend in the Nasdaq. Not that that matters. I think more importantly, it's a 4.4% above its 50 and 2.8% above the 10. So I think a little more sideways action is in order. But we're looking for it to take out that 18,671 from what was it, July 11th. It was the high, and then we had the 16% correction. So it's getting back into this rally mode. Okay, when we have this type of move, we step on the gas. When we have this type of move, we put on the yellow caution sign, tap the brakes, and now we're back into this kind of mode. So we're a lot more aggressive and have more invested, and the size of our positions are larger. So anyway, I'm going to move on to the Dow Jones Industrial Average because the Dow Jones made a new high yesterday and just had an inside day today, up 260 points is an inside day. Yeah, well above its. You can see that's very healthy action, trending, above its moving averages, 3.6% above the 50, 1.7 above the 21. So that looks very strong. SPY made a new high today, 574. This is in a power trend. And the last one I want to look at is IWM. That was up, 0.4% today, and the IWM up 0.53. But this one pulled back to its 10, closed just a tick above it there. So maybe we'll see a bounce from the small caps. Nice little wedge pattern here emerging after this, rally. It's wedging kind of nicely after the Jerome Powell lowered interest rates. And then, I'm going to get to the China news here in a minute, but because that was what was dominating the market today. I do want to get to a little bit of the Apple's getting all this news about how there's no demand for their iPhone. I don't the market's not buying it though, because it's getting support at the 10. It's above its moving averages. So I think that's pretty healthy when you get negative news and the stock doesn't respond to it. It just kind of goes sideways. So I think that's good for Apple. Microsoft, I didn't even take a look at this today because it's a stock I don't own. I'm not really interested in it, but it's forming that same kind of bull wedge. Nice little handle, cup with handle pattern, and a nice wedge. I wouldn't be surprised to see Microsoft move higher here pretty soon. Tesla gave a little back today. I saw that in a lot of stocks. It ran up in the early morning, and then it just pulled back the rest of the session. Amazon Another one of these, yeah, just flat on the day. And then NVIDIA, which is the big kahuna. I know it opened up strong and then kind of closed with a whimper. What's the daily range on NVIDIA today? 38% of its daily range. So if you take a look, yeah, gapped higher at the open and just kind of sold off. Looks a lot like the index, NVIDIA. That is the king of AI. Anyway, I just want to talk first of all about Micron. It made a move that cannot be ignored. I had a couple of points of interest here, the 107 and then the 111, but it does have a gap to fill here. I think longer term it's going to eventually get to that 127 area. Today it was up 14%, closed around 109.88, 110. But the volume was massive. You could see that's not Aunt Sally buying this stock here. It had 365% of its average daily volume. Yeah, 107 million shares turned, exchanged today. So that's a pretty impressive move for Micron. But I think you could have done better just with some of the derivative plays from Micron. And I had Seagate on the list, and I think Seagate performed a little better. Yeah, look at it. It showed you the high at the open. This is what I look for when I'm trying to trade a stock in a daily time frame. Showed you the high gap at the open, closed the gap here, come down, retested, and then got above the open there towards the end. So I think that's a sign of strength. Was it up $3 today, 2.78% with more than average daily volume. So I kind of still like Seagate here. DELL is another one. This got some pen action from Micron. Up 5%. Nice move with above average volume there for DELL. So there was some pen action from the Micron. AMD got some love, and I'm starting to like AMD here above the 200, above the 162. I think the risk reward here is pretty good above the 200 there at 162.04. I'm not going to put any new stocks on the ready list tomorrow, though. It's Friday. Had a good week. Probably be some profit taking. How much is AMD up this week? Yeah, 7.5%. So probably see some profit taking heading into the weekend tomorrow. And then you got the inflation data. So although the Fed probably knows what it wants to do already. All right, I've got to get to the story of the day. First of all, well, I'll go here. I'll go down the negative road. A lot of these high flying stocks. This is one that I held. I sold a little in pre-market, sold most during the session. We had this one about, I don't know, 81 or 82, ran up to 120. But my problem was, and I showed you this yesterday, is it was getting to be 17.5% above its uh, 10 EMA. It got up to almost 20% above its 10 EMA and then sold off. So it made a new high and then reversed lower. Nothing wrong with this. It's just profit taking is expected. Profit taking is in order. And what I expect now, and I have no clue what's going to happen with this, but I bet you it returns to that 107 area and gives people another chance to take another bite of this apple. But these things were just way overheated. They got a lot of love following the Constellation, the Microsoft deal last week. You can see Constellation gapped up, and then today, sold off 2 something%. So these ones just got a little bit overheated. There you go. GEV new high, then reverse lower. You can see this on I should show you the 5-minute charts on these because they gap higher at the open, suck in retail people, and the pros, they sell them off, right? There it is. Gap higher at the open, sold off all day. CEG, same thing. Gap higher at the open, 20 minutes in, then it's adios. This is where it's all about your time frames. So if you're a CEG holder, and I'm going to hold this and bequeath it to my kids, that's fine. It is a powerful stock, has a long runway. But if you're a trader like me, you just want to kind of get in and get out, and you're renting these things. I don't want to sit here and wait for it to come back, to the 236 level, which I think there's a very good chance that it will. There's nothing wrong with that. These things just got overheated. Okay, so Constellation, Nova. Okay, these things all sold out. Oh, there were some other leading stocks that ran up. made new highs and then pulled back. We saw a lot of this today. This is an app 11. Nothing wrong here. It just made a new high in reverse. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. There it is, gap up at the open, just sell off all day. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that they're extended. They get stretched from their moving averages. This one's 15% above the 21. Yeah, 80% above the 200. So it's had a hell of a move, and it just needs to rest. All runners need rest. Okay, any other ones that I need to show you? Sprouts Farmers Market's another one that, made a new high, then pulled back. This has been a leader, Shark Ninja, didn't pull back. Flat on the session. Kind of like this action here, pulling back to the 10 again. Kind of like this right here. Yeah, that's stocks have characters just like people. And if that wants to be its character, it's just gonna, take a time out. It's gonna take a snooze. If it wants to do that there around 105, 106, I'm okay with that. And it'll give us a chance to get in a little later. But another one was CRS. This one made a new high and then pulled back. Wow, that looks like a sharp pullback. Yeah, new high. Whoop, that's quite the move. What was that? 166. Yeah, man. Close at 156, $10 move. Ouch. So if you didn't get out of that one, and all it's doing likely is just coming back, to the old buy point, 149 area. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'd say 50% of the stocks that break out from a buy point return to the buy point and give you a second chance. And just allowing the moving averages to catch up. So that's totally, totally normal. I showed you, all right, that's power. Quanta did the same thing, made a new high, then pulled back. This, getting extended. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one come back to that 287 area, and allow the moving averages to catch up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's take a look at this on the 5 minute. Yeah, it's the same profile all day long. So that's all the negative stuff. Where was the money flowing to today? Well, it's going to the Chinese stocks. China government just brought out the bazooka on, what was it, Monday, and provided a massive stimulus package. And these stocks are being bought. This is KWEB, their internet ETF. This thing's just blasting higher with volume here. What's another one? FXI is another one of their China exchange traded funds. If you don't want to own the stock, which I don't, you could play this theme or, I know David Tepper was on TV today saying that, what's to buy in China? He says everything. He's the owner of the Carolina Panthers and Appaloosa fund, which manages billions of dollars. So carries a lot of weight. And so a lot of the China stocks were up, not only in the stimulus, but word from, a very influential fund manager, David Tepper. He needs to do a little better job with his Carolina Panthers, though. This is BABA. You can see gapping at the open and just trending higher. All of these did the same thing today. JD, gap higher. This is just ridiculous. You got to look at the weekly. I should be showing you the weekly. Yeah, gapping out of a stage one base here. So that does look like it's got legs to it and a much bigger move ahead, but it's up 33% this week. Pretty, pretty tough to buy on a Friday when the stock's up 33%. This one's only up 30%. PDD, this one has sold off recently. Now it's up against its 200. FUTU, which is a financial stock. Come on, Marty. Retarded sometimes. This one is up. Let's see what this looks like on the weekly. This has got to be a stage one here. Oh, breaking out of a stage two. There's your stage one, now stage two. And that one's up 24% this week. So they've had big weeks. I do not like chasing stuff like that. But you're free to do what you want. I'm just pointing out the strength there. Where is the money flowing? This is ATAT, leisure lodging, hotel stock. Wow, up 20% this week. Looks like it had a good weeks prior to this, but the volume is highest this week. What I like to do, during this session, I like to go to up on volume here, and it kind of tells me the stocks that are moving with volume. And I just uh, clicked here today and just saw all of these, China stocks that were Well, Southwest, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but there were a lot of China stocks on here with the price change, the higher price change, above 10%, I like. And they were all China stocks, China education, ETF, individual stocks. Yeah, just Luckin Coffee. I gotta crack up every time you see that. Yum China. Of course, Micron was up on volume today, but JD, New Oriental, PDD, these are all China stocks. So we know the money was flowing, big volume moves, big price change move, big percentage moves, and yeah, I just don't this is just not my style. So I know when to stay away. I know when to dive in. I know when to stay away. I mean, you certainly could buy one of these. This is CWEB. Um, if you didn't want the individual stock exposure. So if I do decide to buy one of these, it'll probably be KWEB, and I'll buy it when it pulls back if I really want to play this game. Big gap here in the chart, but yeah, maybe at I don't know, 30, was it 32? Yeah. Maybe next week I'll take a look at it because this is going to be, I believe, a longer term theme as they're trying to stimulate their economy. So the market rewards them now, and then the earnings kick in down the road, 6, 9 months down the road. That's the way it works. But Wall Street, they shoot now and ask questions later. All right, I'm going to get to something I'm more familiar with, CROX. I like CROX. You can see it's still consolidating within a base here. Um, let's just say a stage one base. They hired a brand manager from Stanley for Hey Dude, and he's a very sharp guy. And the first move he made was to sign Sydney Sweeney, which she might not be as influential as Taylor Swift, but I think she's going to do a damn good job for Crocs. And it's a cheap stock, trading now above its downtrend line. I think that 147 area is one to watch. It was upgraded today, closed above the 147.32, so it's definitely on watch. I'm not going to put this on a ready list, tomorrow, but I am watching this one closely. ONON is a little stronger, or a lot stronger than Crocs, as it broke out of a base and now it's trading above its moving averages here. So this is a leader in the group, as is the Boot Barn. You can see this one ran up and now it's kind of forming a shelf, allowing the moving averages to catch up. That one looks good as well. And a surprising one that I never talk about is Wolverine. Military footwear, and also, outdoor, rugged outdoor stuff for, winter's coming. So maybe they'll have a good earnings. I don't know. Technically, it just broke out of that base at 15.23. And so, yeah, not bad. The average volume 1.2 million. So looks pretty good. It's a very small company, 1.3 billion market cap, but just technically broke out of a base, moving higher. So somebody likes that stock. Anyway, out of the retail apparel and into the miners, the gold is the commodity itself is strong, and these miners are strong too. Once again, Freeport, breaking above a downtrend line here, just snapping right out of it, right? Man, that is some strength for Freeport. I would not wait for the 55. It did fill this gap here in the chart. Man, that's just power. Straight up from the bottom. Usually those, reach, pivot area and just kind of handle out and allow the moving averages catch up. But these are powerful moves. CCJ moved on this is Cameco. It moved last week on the Constellation Microsoft deal with the 3 Mile Island. This is a uranium play. So this one has been moving and up every day since. I don't even know how much it's up this week. Yeah, 8% move this week. So CCJ looks good. And then Southern Copper, which is my favorite in the group. You can see, go back, Marty. What are you doing? First of all, the group is kind of weak, but it'll be climbing when they have moves like this. This thing's up 16% this week, straight up from the bottom. It was below its 200, as you can see, and just even on the weekly, you can see that it broke that trend, broke that downtrend, and this week up 16%, but still consolidating within the base. To me, like, God, it's kind of hard to buy here. Very gappy, straight up from the bottom. There you go. Maybe it'll handle out, but one thing I noticed in this chart of SCCO when I was looking at it's got this gap here. When a gap lower 125. I mean, I know it's only a $5 move, a couple percent, and it'll get there, right? Um, Maybe 118 is an area of interest for Southern Copper. Yeah, this thing looks good though. You know, but the box is here though. That's your box. So it's got to break out of that box to get the Momos guys going. But anyway, miners are strong. There's some well, I'm not going to do the software today. I'm going to go to the United Airlines and the airlines group because these things are breaking out of a double bottom base. United Airlines, this is a powerful move up 8 something percent. Yeah, the airlines look great. Southwest had a investor day today, and they talked about, first of all, Elliott Management is in this company right now. They have a couple board seats, so they have been making changes. You can see it's still consolidating within a base there. Three, what is it, 35, 52 hike, 30, 30, 30, 35, 30, 52. Yeah, right in there. Um, The daily range was not a good bar today, was it? Southwest, but these ones were strong today. ALK is Alaska. Yeah, gapping out of a cup with handle there. Should have had this one on my ready list. But I put a cruise line on. I didn't put any airlines. 11% this week. That's a hell of a move. United Airlines. Oh, Delta. Delta's got that big hub in Atlanta breaking out of a base up 6% today. So the airline stock's getting some love, up more than 10% this week. I did mention the cruise lines, RCL. I did have this one on the list. It's got this, nice cup with handle pushing away from its base. It's extended now. But yeah, I don't know how many people bought this one, but nice trade up 5% this week. Norwegian Cruise Lines, another one that was up today. It's only up 1% this week, but trying to break out of this double bottom base here. 2065 is your trigger, and it closed above that today. So I'll be watching that one, although I do like RCL. This is Carnival. Oh, God, this is a mess. What a choppy mess. Down on the week, base on base on base. I mean, that's just going sideways, right? How long can you wait for a breakout from a base? This is from July of last year. So it's been like 15, 16 months. So anyway, all right. I think that's it for me today. Yeah. So just a day for the China stocks mostly. There was some software, there was some retail, there was obviously the airlines, the cruise lines, the miners. There was some strength. Um, but it was mostly the China stocks. So that was what drove the market today. We'll just have to wait and see if that can continue going forward. Anyway, thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. But in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I do have one more thing, and that is after hours, we saw a report from Costco, and it's down slightly. I mean, slightly, 1%. Yeah, 890. This thing's been hanging around 890 was at 896, 890, 896, doing a whole lot of nothing going sideways. So I didn't really look at the report in terms of, any of the, same store sales or anything like that. So I'll have more in the morning on this. But Costco has been a big behemoth and big run for a long, long time. If I go to the monthly, I have stories about Costco. I'm not going to get into them now, but you can see this is a huge, massive monster stock. And the reports earnings going sideways, not a big deal. We'll see more about this in the morning. Anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, I think that's it for me today. Anyway, we never give up. Thank you for watching.